Very sad times for the chess world as we lost one of our brightest minds, one of the best speed chess players, universally loved figure, Daniel Naroditsky. First, I want to start by my deep condolences to his family, loved ones, friends, colleagues at Charlotte Chess Club, Bay Area chess scene where he grew up, and Charlotte where he worked for the past years, and people that meant everything to him, okay, what he stood up for. Now, this is a great tragedy, and I think since the news broke on Monday, now it has been 4 days. Today's Friday, the day of recording this, and I want to give my 2 cents about the situation because it's been hard. I'm not going to lie, to just reflecting on a lot of things. If someone as good and as accomplished did not see the point, right? Did not, or we're not able to put all of this behind, then makes you reflect what is the point, right? But I think he would want us to do better collectively, and that is one of the reasons I decided to speak up about this, because he loved the game. He would want to spread the game. That's literally what he stood for, and true student of the game. Otherwise, it's crazy what he was able to accomplish in the short 29 years, literally being online all the time. Anyone above, I think, 26, 2700 has had at least multiple times like offers coming in from Dania, and he was game. He was game literally any time. He loved game otherwise, like countless hours at nights on Twitch, and inspiring thousands and millions probably online through YouTube, and his instructional content. And to this day, the role model personally to me and to a lot of creators. I think not only creators, players as well, but I feel like a lot of us that are both or trying to do both, basically create and spread the game, and invite new audiences into the game. Okay, that was I know for a fact that it was important to him, so I think he would want us to do better. Now, how do we do better? It's not an easy answer. It, I think, has to start from just stop giving high moral ground to people with high rating. High rating does not give you high moral ground to say whatever you want to say and accuse people that they are cheating without having any basis for it. This is just as criminal of an act as cheating itself. All right. Now, also, I think it is important that we mention that, like, if you ever thought, oh, it has crossed your mind and think that, oh, it's just going to be one game, or it's just going to be, I'm gonna look through like one time, just don't do it. Okay, it's not worth it. These are immediate consequences that harmless one action may have, and like, I think a lot of times when that happens is because people think that, oh, this is not gonna have consequences. These are immediate consequences. Okay, mental health is very real. If anything, this has shown us it's very real, and you do not know how other people will process that confrontation, or not just confrontation, but that reaction. You don't know how other people are going to react to it, and effect it is going to have on them. Okay, for some, this online game might be a one-time thing or might not matter as much. For others, it might be life or death. Okay, it might be the most important thing in their life, as we can see. Okay, so mental health is very real. Let's try to do better collectively to stand for each other and limit the amount of this bad apples, so to say. Okay, like I feel like we have all experienced it in the circle that these insinuations, it is a bad thing to do. Okay, insinuating something without an evidence, it creates this schizophrenia state of mind that is simply unhealthy. Okay, we are all aware that it's still going to happen. Okay, there are still people that will try to take advantage of the system, but I hope this serves us as a wake-up call how serious consequences can be. Now, that being said, I do want to, I was thinking whether to do this or not, but I do think we have to keep these people accountable. Obviously, one is the former world champion that at one time used to be my favorite player. Now I am kind of like ashamed to say it, but I think I shared that with Daniel also because he's 1 year younger than me. Okay, and basically the similar era, and 1 or 2 years, maybe 2 years difference, and so basically same era. So growing up, Gramnik was the world champion. He beat Kasparov, right? So what do we do at this point? Like I signed that petition of taking away basically his title and get to the point where if he has to pay financially for his actions, then he may be more inclined to stop. Okay, someone, his loved one, just take his phone away and computer away, sign him out from social media, sign him out from chess.com. Chess.com, like, stop this guy. Like, we do not want his presence. Like, so many people. We somehow have to just, like, the only way that I can see is distancing ourselves, like blocking it out. Okay, blocking it out, his voice, so no one listens to what he has to say. Now, that begs the next continuation to that, which is another high player that I cannot hide my disappointment in the mild words to say, Nepo, Jan, man. Maybe a small role into the domino, but publicly making those accusations, and then another 2700 top player that also kind of fell for that domino. That was a wild thing, especially having played with him many, many games. I remember watching you guys, okay, and encouraging fellow Russian-speaking audience. It's like, please, like, I hope you reflect on it and you see how wrong you were to play the role into this. All right. Now, obviously, I do not want to make this about like pointing fingers, but it's just hard, and I think disappointing for a lot of people. And I think this is in a way sharing our guilt that we are all responsible for not speaking out, not condemning these actions. And when he was saying that this is going to be the dark time in the chess history. We did not take it close to our hearts. Okay, I am guilty of this myself. Maybe because okay, like the online chess, it's still a new domain, so to say, for a lot of players. I think it's becoming more of a norm now that a lot of people just don't like to travel that much anymore, play classical tournaments, but still the novel in that sense. So this is important for a lot of people. For some like top players, this might not be the most important avenue. You know, for you, for example, like it may not be the most important avenue. I know for a lot of people it is not, right? Like Fabiano, for example. That was the another thing. Like I listened to his basically interview with Tanya when the Proctor thing happened, and man, like and for the context, what happened there, I think, was Daniel was disqualified, not obeying Proctor rules. And if you're unfamiliar, Proctor is the software that is basically you open it up. You can only use chess.com on it. It has information to your computer, what you have open, and you need the one camera and then the secondary camera that shows your screen. Okay. Now, this was very controversial for some time, and I think it still is. And I know for a fact that it has discouraged a lot of players, myself included, in the past because there were bugs. Most importantly, the lag, terrible lag that computer would start to have. And if you play fast chess, playing fast chess with the lag is a nightmare. It is not fun. It takes away from the experience completely. If anyone has played with it, knows it. So I totally understand for someone who literally was dependent on the rhythm of play. Okay, because the things Daniel would see in matter of seconds, if you don't have the rhythm and the feel for the position, is impossible. To calculate all those moves within seconds is impossible. Okay. So I'm sure it mattered to him, and he was outspoken about this. I did not hear it at the time, but afterwards, I listened to his conversation with Fabiano at the C Squared podcast, and he was yeah, he was pretty spoken about it, that it took away if that was for 2 months or like 3 months, this testing period. But it's been more than a year, I think, or about a year, or more than half a year for sure. And it's still laggy. It still has bugs. It still slows down the computer. I don't have like crazy computer, but I have an i7 PC with decent, I would say, requirements. And whenever I run Proctor, it takes probably 90% of the memory. Like I'm playing terrible. I'm playing like maybe like I'm 0 out of 3 or like 0 out of 2 or 1 out of 4, and like hey, can you please like make sure you have delay, or like please remember the emote only in the chat on the streams. Like what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like if someone has an outlier score and they are, let's say, like, I don't know, like 5 out of 5, and they are like NM or out of blue, you know, they have they start beating like Magnuses and like, or like strong players performed. If 2300 performs at 3000 level, okay, that is a suspicion, all right. But having these double standards clearly had an impact, right? And the man was fed up with it, and I think we all share that sentiment. Okay, like that disappointment and that frustration that the whole process and ordeal did not make this tournaments appealing for a lot of people. Okay, unless you are in the, like, I don't know, you win these tournaments, but then still, like, if you're winning this tournament, unless you are Hikaru, literally, who wins that like every other week. But that's the only one player, right? Hikaru and Magnus, like two of them, right? Um, what to make out of this? I'm not sure, but clearly, I think it's not a solution. I think what Daniel and Fabiano were talking about is, okay, at some point we have to accept that this is either for entertainment or for fun. For a lot of players, for me, Title Tuesday is a chance to play world's best players, Magnus's, Hikaru's, Ali Reza's, and these guys. Okay, um, we don't really depend on it. You gotta be delusional, right, to depend on this in terms of prizes. Maybe someone other than like Magnus and Hikaru, there are like few people that have won this tournament, I think, in history. It's not, that list is not wide at all. So no one really depends on it for the financial incomes, but okay, there's gotta be some way to control it, but clearly this hasn't worked. It has ruined a lot of people's experience for the tournament. So we'll see what's gonna happen going forward with this. All these little factors played the role, right? Clearly, it played the role, and he was very disheartened about the entire situation. So I hope we can all learn from it. Okay. All right, now I want to end this on the positive note on what I think Daniel would want to be remembered for, which is his chess. Okay, and in 2019, I was going to University of Texas at Dallas, and they brought Daniel for training games against the team players. I think we were preparing for the Final Four or some collegiate tournament, and I played two classical and two rapid games. And I want to show you one of the rapid games that I played against him. Okay, playing with black here, but let's show it from the white's side. He starts the game with b3, and I decided to go with a5 here. A5 is actually a quite normal move. Idea is to play a4, restrict white's queenside space mobility, and I guess if bishop lands on b2, then poke it at some point with maybe a4, a3. If I play c4, I played e6. Now c4 stops a4 because he will simply take it. And after e6, knight f3, d5 here, we transpose into this position of Queen's Indian slash Queen's Gambit declined with b6. a5 is a little off, but down the line, white may want to expand on the queen side with a3, b4. So it's not totally useless, basically, that pawn on a5. So queen c2, knight a6. Now, as black, I'm trying to freestyle this and make it work somehow. Support, obviously threatening knight b4 at the moment, and getting ready for c5. He played a3. I played c5 short castle and rook to c8. Now he decides to take on c5. I think bishop f5 would be a slightly better move because rook has to go back, I think. If it goes here, there's knight b5. If it goes c6, there's knight e5. So rook is going to be uncomfortable on the c file, so it has to go the other way. But okay, he played d takes c5. Now I decided to take with the knight to bring it with the tempo. Then he plays bishop f5, and I put my knight on e6. He decided to move away from this x-ray on the c file, move the queen away, g6, and bishop goes back to d3. Now I go knight back to c5, trying to provoke this this bishop. If it moves back, probably I was going to go knight e4, but he decides to give me the light square bishop. I was quite happy with that decision. Knight takes d3, queen d3, and I thought, okay, why don't I take on b4? My pawn structure here is not great. I have isolated pawn, and the weak pawn on b6, actually two isolated pawns, but excuse me. Two isolated pawns, but how bad can it be? I'm gonna give one of them back if needed, right? Excuse me. So I have two isolated pawns actually, but I thought how bad can it be if something I will give one of them back and try to equalize here. He plays knight e2, bishop goes e7, knight f4, and it was this moment when I realized that actually my king is not feeling that great. Okay, my king is actually here quite weak, especially in view of this dark square bishop on the long diagonal. So this was probably when my alarm bells went on and started ringing here. So I immediately tried to trade queens with queen c7 and then queen c4. He plays knight d4, and on queen c4 he had this very nice typical idea prepared that I got to know after this game. Knight goes to f5. Okay, now the point is white wants to take on e7 and weaken the dark square. So if queen takes d3, knight is defending it. White is going to take the bishop with the check first and then recapture back. Intermediate move, knight e7 check, and then recapture on d3 and winning a piece. Okay, so I can do that. I have to take the knight, but then queen takes f5, and suddenly my king is very weak here. Bishop is cutting through the board. Queen g5 is the threat. So practically speaking, black is in a very uncomfortable situation here. I played rook c6, which I thought was the natural move. Apparently, the best move is knight to e4 here. Try to block with knight c3. If he goes bishop d4, then f6. Okay, again, trying to block it. I think if queen g4 check here, that would be the first instinct. But there's this move, bishop g5, and on h4, f5. This is the key that I didn't see in knight e4. Okay, f5, and queen has to move away from the g file, and then black is safe. Basically, they can return back to f6 or take on f4, for example. So there's no more danger or the g file. So knight e4 was the best move here, but I played rook c6 to defend this knight. He brings the rook to c1. Now I have to move the queen away. He takes on c6, and after rook c6 here, I realized that this is actually a trouble. If queen takes c6, rook c1, queen has to move to d6 to keep defending this knight. Then bishop e5, queen has to go all the way back to d8. And now already my position is here very tricky. I think this is what I was looking at actually, then knight h5. And I'm gonna lose this knight back. Our computer also suggesting rook c7 is just as strong, attacking the bishop on b7, and rook takes e7 is also a threat. Getting rid of the dark squares, which is gonna basically win a queen for white. Okay, so then I decided to take on b2, but again he is gonna have this rook c7 move attacking my both bishops. I played bishop a6. He plays rook b1. Okay, I go queen to a3. Apparently the key move here, the critical mistake was, that was the critical mistake, queen a3. Queen a2 was correct move, rook e7, and then knight e4. Attacking the rook on b1 and pawn on f2. But this is a crazy line to see because there is this move, rook f1, and then knight e6 move. If you can't take queen g4, is going to be a checkmate there. So I have to take on f2, and suddenly a bunch of pieces get traded here, and white wins one of the minor pieces back, so they're gonna be exchanged up. But bishop takes g2, and let's say when you take there bishop e4, it can take on d6, but black is on time to set up the fortress here, and with bishop then 3 pawns versus rook and 2 pawns, should be a draw. King will not be able to make progress here. Okay, so that was the best move, but um, giving Daniel initiative, plus you are most likely low on time. He was notorious for playing very fast and putting you on pressure on the clock pretty much at all times. And this was no exception. So being also low on time here, I allowed this tactic, rook e7, then rook takes b6, and that's a double attack on both my minor pieces. I'm gonna lose one of them, and yeah, that will cost me a game because I'm already going to be down a pawn, and pawn structure is also very weak. So I think what ended up happening is I lost another pawn on d5, and then knight and 4 pawns versus bishop and 2 pawns. That should be easily winning for white. So I think a nice game on Queen's Indian topic, how to produce the counterplay against the weak Black King if they play G6, and in general this knight D5, knight F5, and utilizing the long diagonal in the Queen's Indian. And in general, I would say about a game about the initiative, the sense of initiative. Okay. So I enjoyed the game, even though I lost the game. I enjoyed the game quite a bit. I remember during the game, and in general, I think on chess.com I played 37 games against him. He is beating me 32 and a half to 4 and a half. I always thought that it could have been a little closer, but the score clearly shows otherwise. Um, it was a big motivation for me. He would say this in our personal interactions, and also at the streams like a few times, thought that I was underrated, and I would always carry that as the source of confidence and the motivation to do better, and thinking basically that okay, if someone so good believed in me, that means that I can play. You know, that was kind of like validation or source of validation for me. So rest in peace, brother. You will be missed dearly, and hope we can do better collectively.